One comment I get a lot in my videos, especially when I'm using the G90 at 20 watts, is, hey, don't get that radio. What you should get as a new ham is 100 watts. You'll be less frustrated and you'll make more contacts. I kind of beg to differ, but if that's how you feel and what you're really into, 100 watts, and you want it on a budget, let's say less than the cost of the G90, I might have the radio for you. This is the Yaesu FT747. This is the GX model. I've got two of them. This one doesn't work. That one works. And I purchased them both used, really cheap. I'll go over them. We'll use one of them. We'll put it on the air. I'll give you my thoughts as what this radio is really all about. Should you buy it or should you pass? Stick around. Here it is. Plastic, fantastic. Why? Because it's got a plastic case. When this radio was introduced around 1987, 88, it was built as an affordable way to get 100 watts out. Yaesu really put a pretty strong marketing campaign on. And you look through the ham radio magazines in the second half of 1988, some great advertisements that really told the story on plastic fantastic. This is a 10 through 160 meter HF 100 watt radio. It's pretty simple. It's small enough. It really is small enough to pack up in a bag and take portable, yet it's got a lot of great features for a radio this small and this light. One thing I like about this, the fact that this radio is the simplicity. I'll go over this. We'll take a deep look. We'll fire that one up, the working one up, and go over it. I bought both of these online on eBay. This wasn't as is, and I knew it. It says it cuts on, it looks good. I'm not a ham, whatever. Yeah, this one needs work. It really does. This one I bought from Japan that said they had tested it on the air and made contacts with it, and they were telling the truth. It works pretty good. Couple of issues, like any old radio. When you fire this thing up, yeah, maybe a little tap on the top or whatever to get the lights to come on. Yeah, that kind of thing happens, which will with old radios like that. Another thing with these older radios too is, these are getting close to 35 to 40 years old. These were made from the late 80s into the early 90s. Capacitors on any radio, even the old antique radios, it's called a recapacitor job. So if you're looking at one of these and it's like this one, it says it works now, I don't know the life expectancy of that, if it'll work a year from now even. Replacing the capacitors is a thing. So with that said, this is it. This radio, like I said, was probably the lightest and most portable for its time in the day. Another thing about this radio, this is the early days of cat control. And as you see here on the front of it, the cat system, for what we kind of called back then packet radio, was hooking your computer up to this. So very cool. I love the looks of it. The Yaesu FT747 GX. Let's fire this thing up and take a peek, and I'll show you what I like about it. So let's take a look at the FT747 GX, and this is mine, and it's fired up. One thing, the mic is the MH1 mic. You have two-tone settings on the mic. Good mic, I think. I like it. It's pretty easy to use, handy or whatever. But what I really like about this radio is the simplicity, all the simplicity on it. Basically just in volume, AF, squelch, and mic drive, which I usually set about 3/4 of the way, and then you can control the output, the drive from 100. I took it actually all the way down, and I could set it using my tuner, and looking at the output on it, I could set it down to 5 watts QRP. But I like the simplicity of just here having an attenuator to bring down the noise. You'll see that. I'm going to show you some QSOs here in a minute, and you'll see me using the attenuator. But that noise blanker, not much of a noise blanker from what I've seen so far, but easy there. The band switch just roll through, basically 13, 14 in megahertz. It doesn't really say 20, 15, whatever, but band switch, you can, when you're steps for tuning. You'll see here, or you can go fast, and you'll see the steps pick up there. So what I was doing, like if I wanted to go, let's say I was at, 14,220, and I wanted to go up to 14,315. Well, it would take me all day this way. You just click the fast button and boom, right up to where you want to go. Boom, back down, then to 15. Easy as that. So that's what I really like about this, is the simplicity. It's a really good looking radio too. I love the front speaker. The front speaker has pretty good sound. I like that as well. But dual VFOs, I can go from A to B and back and forth. But not a lot of menu driven items to worry about. Not a lot of buttons to push. Just simple. And I like that for a new ham. If you're a new ham and you get this radio, I think that's going to serve you well as far as how easy it is to operate when you're either at home at the base station or even portable. There's not a lot of intricate things that you've got to do to it. A lot of menu driven things, stuff like that. It's pretty cut and dry and simple, and that's really what I love about this radio. For a new ham or a beginner, and actually even that's how I like to operate when I'm portable. I don't want to mess around with a bunch of settings. I want it to be simple and easy. You know what I mean? Adjust the noise a little bit, the volume, and let it rip. And the drive and go out and have fun with it. So that is one big advantage to it. Let's take a look. Here's a few QSOs I made, and you'll get a good idea of how this thing performs. All right, let's put this thing on the air. A few things before we roll. I'm using my Euro Sigmacom HF360 vertical out the back here of my base, my home shack. So somewhat of a compromise. I've made some decent contacts with it. So it's really all about the radio here in the 100 watts. Another thing, I made all these contacts within a couple hours of themselves on the same day. So the bands were really noisy that day as well. So you're really going to get a good feel for what the sound quality of that front speaker really is like, because here, this is my my FT710. At the same time, I put it beside it and cut it on. It's going to give you you can see how noisy the noise level was. So there you go. With that said, let's check out these contacts. Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf, Oscar.
Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf, Oscar, 5 and 5, 55 in Central Croatia.
QSL, you're 5 and 5 as well into Virginia. The name here is Walt, Whiskey Alpha, Lima Tango.
My name is Eagle, India, Victor, Oscar. All the best, Walt. See you good.
Thank you. 73, my friend.
73, 9 Alpha, 3 Alpha, 9 America, 3 America, beaming northwest.
Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf, Oscar.
Kilo 4.
Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf, Oscar.
Correcto, Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf, Oscar. Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf, Oscar, ¿correcto?
Correcto.
Correcto, por reporte 5555, Walter por Ecuador, 55, Roger.
Sí, 5555.
Correcto, muchas gracias. Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf, Oscar. Thank you. QRZ, Hotel Bravo 9, Hotel Lima Mike, Hotel Bravo 9, Hotel Lima Mike, QRZ.
Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf, Oscar.
Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf, Oscar, you 5-5, the name is on 8,
QSL, you're 5-5. The name is Walt, Whiskey Alpha, Lima Tango. I'm located in Virginia, USA.
Roger, very good. Thanks and nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. 73. Bye-bye.
QRZ, Hotel Bravo 9, Hotel Lima Mike.
QRZ.
Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf, Oscar.
Kilo 4 again.
Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf, Oscar.
Kilo 4 Oscar Golf Oscar. This is November 4 Foxtrot. You are 5-9 here in Florida. My name is Izzy. Over.
Yes, Izzy, you're a 5-9 up here in Virginia. Great to make contact there with you.
Likewise, thank you so much. 88.
73, 88. Well, there you go. My Yaesu FT747GX. Plastic, fantastic. Another thing about this too is really cool. Look how easy it is to, these things slide right off, to just take the cover off of this thing and hop right in it. It's real simple to do some work on it. So that's another feature. If you're a tinkerer and you're into working on these things, that's nice. These little sidebars just slide right off and off you go, and you're rocking and rolling. What do I think of the radio? I think it's really, if you're on a budget and you can spend about, you find one that says it's working and you trust the person you're buying it from, in the $300 to $350 range, it might be a deal. It might be worth it. If you're a new ham, do know that there might be some frustration, and I don't know how long it's going to last for you. I mean, you saw in my QSOs, I don't know if it's really stays on frequency. There is some drift there. If you notice, I was like, a couple kilohertz off here or there. Maybe the other person on the other end was off frequency. I don't know, but there's some quirks and some quirkiness about the radio as well. So keep that in mind. Another thing to think of too, this radio was also made in a commercial version. It was the FT80C, and it was basically a Mars modded version of this radio that would transmit from 1.5 all the way up to 30 megahertz. So that's out there as well. They're really rare and hard to find, but all in all, I would say this is a good radio for someone with a little bit of experience that wants a budget 100-watt Yaesu to kind of have. I know I want it just for the collection. You know what I mean? I think it's a cool radio. A brand new first time radio. This might be the very low end of that. I don't think I would go anything older or cheaper than this. And if you find one of these that works well, and there are some out there, there really are, and you can get it between $350 US. Yeah, it might be worth it. Just know that you might also have some issues. Now, manuals for this thing they're available. You can find anything you want. Just Google it on the internet, and there's so much out there. Service manuals, the operating manuals, brochures, everything about this radio is out there, and you can acquire it. Anyway, that's my thought. I mean, once again, I say this every time. If you're a new ham and you're looking for a great radio, go buy a brand new for $400. Buy the Xiegu G90. That is, to me, the beginner's radio, and I still use it, and I love it. It's a great radio. There's not a big difference. There is some, but 20 to 100 watts is not a big step. But if you're bound and determined to get a 100-watt rig, you don't have a lot of money, maybe this is the one you try out. Anyway, hope that kind of gives you some insight on the radio, on the plastic, fantastic Yaesu, and you can see what it's all about. If you're into this type of thing, I have some other older radios. I'm going to start posting. I'm going to put them on a little kind of display test like we've done there, and then put them on the shelf for a display after that. And I'll probably get out and use this portable again somewhere. But if you're into that thing, please like and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Salty Walt, K4OGO. Stay salty, my friends.